Good morning, everybody. Evan Rogers of Rogers Law P.C. If you're watching this video, you're probably a landlord. And if you're a landlord, you're probably really upset because you haven't been getting any rent. So I'm going to be speaking about the ability in New York City, I practice in the Bronx and Mount Vernon, to do what we call non-payment actions. In this state, we have a governor named Cuomo who's done his absolute best to stop the courts from hearing cases and to prevent landlords really taking from landlords rent. In my view, this is unconstitutional, and at a certain point, New York State and the governor will have to pay. But for right now, you are suffering if you're a landlord, and I'm a landlord and I'm suffering too. So let's talk about what we can do when you have a tenant who owes you rent. Well, the first thing is we need to see the lease, because if there is no lease, you can pretty much wave the money bye-bye. If there is a lease, please come in. It's free to speak to me. You can email me the lease and I'll make you an appointment. There are several steps that have to take place. First, we have to prepare a 5-day notice. This says to the tenant, although he knows it or she knows it, that she owes you money for more than 5 days. And that will be served by certified mail, as the governor says in the regulations. After that, then we have to prepare a 14-day notice that has to itemize everything, and it will be served by a licensed process server, someone who has a license from the Department of Consumer Affairs, so that it is done properly, or as they say, in the manner provided by law. After all that happens, then we can finally have you come in and sign a petition, which is what will start the court proceeding when I file it. These papers now must be filed electronically with the court, and we will pay by credit card with the court and give it to a process server, and we'll get you the papers served and filed in court with the affidavit of service. Now, what happens next is new. It is not good, but it is new. And that is that the court, when the tenant shows up, and the tenant is going to get paperwork that says basically you don't have to show up and get a lawyer someday, they'll give us a court date. And if the tenant shows up for that date, we can try to settle your case. Or if it can't be settled, the court will adjourn it any number of times until you have a trial. Only after you've won the case can we get permission to apply for a warrant. That's the step where the marshal gets this piece of paper that he can serve when the court allows him to, and finally get the tenant out if the tenant hasn't paid. Now, don't be ready to jump off the bridge right now, because the mayor has given the tenants access to free lawyers. And if there's anything that free lawyers that work for the government are good at, it's getting money from the government, because after all, it's not coming from their pocket, it's actually coming from your pocket. So we have a pretty good success rate when the lawyers for the city get involved and getting your money, which is what it's about in a non-payment case. Because after all, you're a businesswoman or a businessman, and you need that money to pay your mortgage. You need that money to pay the taxes. You need that money to pay all the million things that you have to pay when you're an owner of a house that neither the mayor nor the governor care about, but I care. So at the bottom of the screen is my phone number and my email. Please feel free to contact me, and we'll make an appointment with you. If you get Stacy on the phone, Stacy is my law office manager. She's been with me for all of her life because she's my daughter, but she's been with me almost 8 years as my law office manager, and we'll get you all hooked up. Okay, God bless you all, and I hope to see you soon.